In 1890, Thomas Edison made some creepy-ass talking dolls. I don't think they look that scary, but you gotta listen to what this thing sounds like. Jesus Christ. This is pure nightmares. What the fuck? What the fuck are they even saying? So obviously this doll didn't sell very well. One reason being it was fragile and fell apart, and second reason was it scared the shit out of children, which I can understand. Especially in 1890, this is the first talking doll, and it's fucking warbling out these weird nursery rhymes to you. Like, you're definitely gonna be freaked out. So these dolls were only sold for about a month, and they were a complete failure. Thomas Edison called them his little monsters because of how much of a failure it was. Or maybe he knew they were creepy too, but I think it's because it was a failure. These things were 22 inches tall and about 4 pounds. Basically, the interior has a mini phonograph, and it has this wax ring record, I guess you'd call it, I'm not sure. But a wax ring record, and this would break very easily, and also get worn out very easily. The heads were made out of porcelain, and then the arms were wooden jointed arms. They had a metal body with a section in the chest that had holes in it, and this is where the horn of the phonograph would be placed up against. So the sound would come out of there. And there was a hand crank on the back which would activate the voice. There's very vague numbers about how many of these were sold. It's anywhere between 100 and 2,500. It seems like around 500 is the most accurate. So these things are quite rare to find and probably are worth a good amount of money. So if you ever start hearing this from your attic, you might want to check it out. It might be worth something. Or move houses. According to Edison's business papers, 7,500 of these were made and were stored somewhere, and then in 1896 they were reportedly destroyed. Maybe because they were starting to come to life and terrorize people, but yeah, they got rid of them, probably burnt them in a fire. Thomas Edison created the phonograph in 1877, and this was his first commercial project involving a phonograph. Also, the price seemed to vary. You could buy an undressed doll for $10 and then a dressed one for $20. I see other sources mentioning that they weren't dressed at all, so I don't know, it's kind of up in the air. But with inflation, $10 USD in 1890 is $335 today. That was quite expensive. And then $20 being around $672, approximately. So yeah, this would have been a pretty luxury item, and it kind of just sucked, it didn't work well. So it was obviously a failure, and then the scaring children part does not help. Now here's the thing, if you listen to this voice and really think about it, it's not that scary. Like if you pay attention, you can tell it is just a woman putting on a fake child voice, singing a nursery rhyme, and that kind of makes it funny. Just imagine a woman in the 1890s in a factory making funny voices into a microphone for these dolls. Like it's just not scary if you think about it. It's pretty goofy and honestly brings some humanity to it. Like it's much more relatable thinking about this woman going to her job and having to do this nonsense all day. There's just something more human about that. A lot of the time we look back at people in the past and we don't relate. We think they're so different from you and I. I feel like when you imagine this doll that way, it's similar to old photographs when you see people goofing around in like the Victorian era. It instantly brings humanity to it and instantly brings relatability. Like we're used to the black and white pictures, weird clothes, stern face, and it makes them seem so unrelatable. But then the occasional candid photos of them goofing off instantly makes it seem like, oh yeah, I understand this person. Like look at this father and son goofing around on the camera. This couple trying to stay still in the picture but can't control their laughter. I don't know, I just see this and it's just not so foreign anymore. Or these women in the snow building the best snowman I've ever seen. Like look at the detail on that thing. Like this one straight up looks like a selfie that could be on Instagram with just a bunch of filters on it. And there's always the classic people making funny faces. Or these women on the beach and the guy in the back just photobombing them. Also imagine wearing these clothes and getting sand on them. That sounds terrible. So you see these pictures and it makes you think, okay, they're not so different from you and I. And that's also how I feel when I hear the goofy voice coming out of that doll. It's not really that scary. It's kind of funny, to be honest. There's the plot twist. The doll isn't actually that scary. That being said, though, it did still scare children, and I get that. It does sound like the screams out of the gates of hell or something.